Rafe Judkins, a notable former Survivor player and successful TV and film writer, has launched some criticisms of the show's Final Four fire-making component. The fire-making challenge became a part of the show's structure in Survivor Season 35, Heroes vs. Healers vs. Hustlers. It gives the winner of the Final Four Immunity Challenge the ability to select one player to go to the final Tribal Council with them, while the other two players compete in a fire-making challenge. The loser of the challenge is immediately eliminated from the game. A vocal critic of the format is Survivor, Guatemala's Rafe Judkins. Rafe played a great strategic game on his season and nearly won the game, but he was voted out in third place, coming just short of the final Tribal Council. Since his time on the show, Rafe has become a successful creator in Hollywood. In addition to writing on shows like Chuck and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Rafe also wrote the Uncharted movie adaptation starring Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, and is the showrunner of The Wheel of Time starring Rosamund Pike. Rafe Judkins thinks Jeff Probst is wrong about Survivor's format in a recent episode of the On Fire with Jeff Probst podcast. Survivor host and showrunner, Jeff Probst, addressed several controversial twists in Survivor history, including the Final Four fire-making challenge. Jeff defended the format change and said it's now a permanent part of the show. He argued that it helps give strong players a better shot at making the final Tribal Council than if there were a normal vote like in the seasons before the twist was introduced. In a Twitter thread responding to Jeff's podcast, Rafe took issue with Jeff's argument, pointing out that a player should need to win immunity or a fire challenge to make it to the end if they actually played a great game. He made a compelling case by explaining that having a vote instead of the fire-making challenge encourages great players to bring other great players to the end who are also threats to win, so you're not the automatic vote. Rafe argued that the current format incentivizes strong players to eliminate other strong players early, rather than compete against them in the endgame, which leads to uninteresting conclusions and poor winners. Final Four fire-making is bad for Survivor. Rafe is correct that the Final Four fire-making challenge is a net negative for Survivor. Though it forces drama with a high-stakes challenge, it undermines the spirit of Survivor as a social strategy game. Additionally, it leads to an unsatisfying conclusion, even in the event that a fan favorite wins the game because of the fire-making challenge when they would have been voted out in fourth place otherwise. The result isn't as satisfying as it should be because it isn't the organic conclusion of a strong social and strategic game. Unfortunately, Jeff is committed to the Final Four fire-making and doesn't seem to agree with the notion that forced drama and reverse-engineered results aren't nearly as satisfying as the events that occur organically in the game. Of course, some seasons without the fire-making challenge have had predictable or boring finishes, but that only makes the less frequent underdog victories more satisfying. Nonetheless, Jeff has made it clear that Final Four fire-making is here to stay, for better or worse. Survivor airs Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time on CBS. Source: On Fire with Jeff Probst, Rafe Judkins, Twitter.
Love in a modern world is fake when love was meant for joy too. When I find you, I realize that somehow we lie. Love in the modern world it is fake when love was meant for joy. I know that he hurt you. Your 5 inches of heart is human. Can you be sure? No.